Hey, welcome to the board presentation. Today we're going to talk about FTX and affiliates and a case study of why compliance and regulation is best practice. I appreciate you're all here. There's attendance sheets on the table. Please sign your name, position, etc. And then also anybody that's online and has been able to join us online, there will be a register of your participation as well. Let's get started. The rise of FTX and affiliate companies and the eventual fall from grace for Sam Bankman-Fried and his companies is a classic case of why compliance and regulatory programs are critical and necessary. FTX had promise and was a leader in the crypto market, and investors did buy into that potential using the FTX platform. It became quite successful. Sam Bankman-Fried for a time was a spokesman for the new currency, speaking of altruism and a higher cause, but in reality his business was just a confidence game. Compliance programs offer a baseline of expectations and a framework of ethical management, which contributes to making organizations and whole industries successful in the long run. Sam Bankman-Fried and Gary Wang were the founders of FTX, which was an exchange for cryptocurrency transactions. The euphoria from blockchain technology and all the hype around cryptocurrency markets led to the creating of the persona of Bankman-Fried and the allure of his supposed altruistic purpose. Fast profits and greed led to backdoors into FTX exchange to circumvent proper financial management and compliance. And this is key. This is a executive decision to backdoor any type of ethical standard and to create more flexibility to do transactions that they really shouldn't be doing. A disregard and top-down lack of support for compliance and ethical standards ultimately destroyed FTX, Alameda Research, and the multiple affiliates. In the cryptocurrency market, federal and state regulators are limited, as well as the reach of their regulatory arm. Business basics are still needed in these markets, as well as protocols and guidelines, which give a roadmap to keep management from going too far off the path. The rise and fall of FTX and affiliates and Sam Bankman-Fried serves as a poignant case study which highlights the critical importance of compliance and regulatory programs in the financial and cryptocurrency sectors, and why compliance and regulatory programs are vital to long-term success of the cryptocurrency industry in all business sectors. The history of crypto is interesting, but just to summarize, the Bitcoin white paper that laid out the foundations of cryptocurrency as well as Bitcoin was in 2008. Early adoption in cryptocurrency was between 2010 and 2013. The first crypto exchanges were between 2010 2011, which also included Mt. Gox, who had a gigantic fraud perpetrated by two Russian hackers into the system. First giant crisis there. Ethereum was launched in 2015, and then institutional adoption with some of the more traditional financial institutions started in 2021 to the present time. A few key points of Sam Bankman in the beginning. Sam Bankman-Fried was born on March 6, 1992 in California. Both parents were law professors from Stanford. He attended high school at Crystal Springs Uplands High School in Hillsborough, California, close to Silicon Valley. He went to MIT, and after MIT, he got a job at Jane Street Capital, a quantitative trading firm, for 3 years, and after which he started Alameda Research. That was a cryptocurrency firm. In January of 2018, Sam organized a trade to take advantage of Bitcoin's high price in Japan compared to America. Alameda netted $10 million before the price narrowed. And then after which Alameda moved from California to Hong Kong to be outside the purview of U.S. regulatory reach. The FTX crypto exchange was started in April 2019. Alameda Research played a role of market maker for FTX and played an important role in the growth, sometimes taking trade losses in order to attract more investors to the exchange. In this Circus Act, Bankman-Fried and FTX promised to create a cryptocurrency exchange that was safe, compliant, and transparent. And it wasn't. Alameda Research accumulated crypto tokens before FTX listed them for trading. According to public data, the total value of the transactions was $60 million. Alameda took a series of losses in 2 months during 2022, in which FTX covered the losses for Alameda. But they did it with customer funds. So FTX's client customer funds were used to cover Alameda, unbeknownst to the investors. TechCrunch, a technology news outlet, noted that FTX showed some questionable trades with red flags, which emerged and appeared to be unusual, combining funds with Alameda. During this time, a competing crypto exchange called Binance was performing due diligence to perform an acquisition of FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried at the time had a net worth of $10.5 billion at the time of the release of the TechCrunch news release. Immediately after the news, his net worth had free fallen to $1 billion. A day later, on November 9th, 2022, Binance walked away from the FTX acquisition, citing questions about how FTX managed customer funds. The following day, Sam Bankman-Fried said Alameda Research would cease trading and that Alameda, FTX, and 130 affiliated entities would enter Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The meteoric rise without controls of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried was a reason for the impending implosion. There were few, if any, systems of compliance to temper the explosive rise of FTX. No internal controls, no compliance monitoring, and policies that were followed by the top down. As FTX's stability concerns became more apparent, it became evident that the company did not have any true internal controls and oversight. Compliance programs work to avoid serious issues that could ruin an organization. They also work to mitigate a disaster in a crisis. FTX and Alameda really had no functional compliance program. FTX and Alameda also were a multi-billion-dollar crypto investment and crypto exchange that operated with the same compliance strategy as a mom and pop corner hardware store. The commingling of customer and client funds with the organization's investments began to overtake the organization and erode any confidence that ever existed. An organization needs effective risk management, transparency, and regulatory adherence in order to stop such activity that was happening at FTX and all its affiliates. There's no guarantee that FTX would have survived a downturn in the markets with an effective compliance program, but it is assured that with an ethical approach and having an attempt to actually be compliant and to not use customer funds, Sam Bankman-Fried would not be spending decades in jail. And, other parts of their organization would have survived, and they would have continued on. But it takes discipline. With a robust compliance program, including internal policies and protocols, training, and internal monitoring systems that were supported by Sam Bankman-Fried, the outcome would have been completely different. In regards to the compliance program, FTX and all its affiliates, including Alameda, needed to follow the OIG, Office of Inspector General, 7 elements of a compliance program. And these include written policies and procedures, a designation of a compliance officer and a compliance committee, effective compliance training and education, effective lines of communication, internal auditing and monitoring, enforcing consequences and incentives, and responding to detected offenses and developing corrective actions. The crypto industry does need regulatory framework. It needs preemptive regulation that is there to mitigate fraud and huge swings in the market due to fraud and mistrust. It should create laws, policies, reporting requirements, audit requirements, real audits, which FTX didn't have until it was all over, and also have personal trading laws, just like the financial systems, you know, have on the New York Stock Exchange. So, in conclusion, the compliance and regulation are essential to the long-term success and the long-term growth of the cryptocurrency markets to protect integrity of the financial system despite the security of blockchain technology. Also, robust compliance programs and regulatory programs are important in any industry and in any organization. Such protections prevent incidents similar to the collapse of Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, and all its affiliates. Key points regarding the need for compliance and regulation in cryptocurrency include effective compliance programs that help identify, manage, and mitigate the risks when trading and investing in cryptocurrencies by mitigating the likelihood of fraud, mismanagement, and financial instability. This can be done through investor protection, integrity, regulatory adherence, reputational management, and a robust compliance program that is supported by the executive team. In conclusion, the events surrounding the FTX underscore the critical importance of compliance in the crypto industry. By implementing strong regulatory compliance frameworks, along with adherence to best practices, the market can protect itself from similar cases or at least mitigate the number of crises. Fostering a more secure and trustworthy environment is extremely important, all participants within the growing market, the organizations, the exchanges, creating a framework of trust. The cold hard truth about compliance is that it does not sell a product or service. There's no buzz to compliance, but it is part of the backbone of organization. Blockchain provides a positive framework for financial security, but we cannot rely on it alone in the cryptocurrency markets. Robust compliant programs are needed to assure financial stability, financial compliance, and establish trust once again. Let us not forget the obvious gold standard of compliance failures such as Enron, WorldCom, going way back, Lehman Brothers, Arthur Andersen, Wells Fargo, and a long list of other compliance disasters. Left unchecked, humans tend to move the boundaries, such as the colossal disaster of the 2008 financial crisis. So I conclude with this. The 7 elements of the OIG um, of a compliance program are critically important in every organization. And what it does is it only makes the organization stronger for long-term success, as well as making the markets stronger as well. Thank you.